Do you go, oh, man.
Hey, Matt's traveled.
He has.
Let's see what he says.
Matt Barrows from The Athletic joining us. Matthew, good morning. Big win over the weekend. How are you?
I'm good. How are you guys?
Hey,
Great.
we're doing great. We were vamping a little bit, and we were thinking, what's on the mount, four prettiest, not counting Alaska or Hawaii, states. And we thought, well, California's in there. Colorado, I think, probably. Montana probably has to be. Then you got a lot left. I mean, are we going Maine? Are we going Florida? I hate Florida, but still. Is there one that sticks out, Matt? Putting you on the spot.
My folks live in Maine, and Maine is gorgeous. You probably want to leave by, I don't know, November.
Yeah.
and not come back until June because spring is actually winter there. So there's that. I grew up in Virginia. I think Virginia's a beautiful, the Shenandoah Valley, the mountains out that way, Charlottesville area.
Is that where the Chesapeake is?
Country. What's that?
Is that where the Chesapeake is in Virginia?
Yeah, it's shared by Virginia, Maryland, and Delaware.
Okay. Last question, because people probably want to hear you talk about Niners. What is the DFW or no? DFW is Dallas Fort Worth. Is it Delmarva? What is that Delaware, Maryland, and Virginia?
Yeah, it's the Delmarva Peninsula, which is that peninsula that forms the eastern boundary of the Chesapeake Bay, and that contains pieces of all three states.
Wow.
How did you know that?
Well, I because that's what I thought it was, because it starts with everything. But I thought maybe that was a little too easy.
Yeah.
Did I just spit on your paper?
No.
Okay, good. But also, it's so weird out there, and I don't mean this disrespectfully, Matt. I mean weird for a Californian, because you drive 20 minutes and you've gone through 3 states, and that's just so foreign to us out here. But everything is just near everything, it seems, out there, Matt.
Yeah, it's basically one big city from Boston all the way to Washington, D.C.
Yeah, which is crazy when we're here. And by the way, shout out to all the people tuning in on YouTube later today for 49ers Talk with Matt Barrows, who got 5 minutes of geography. Jason, take it away, please.
All right. Well, Matt, of course, is brought to you by Stockton Honda. Matt, Brock Purdy's back. I know we talked to Greg Papa on Friday. He always talks about 30 for Purdy. Well, they got past that. They had a big offensive day yesterday against Arizona. How much of that was just getting Brock Purdy back?
Yeah, Brock Purdy was a big part of it. I think playing the Cardinals was a big part of it. My whole take was, if you're looking for a game in which your quarterback who hasn't played for 6 weeks, your wide receiver who hasn't played for 6 weeks, and you're starting to work in your rookie linebacker, Nick Martin, who saw some action for the first time this year. The Cardinals game was the perfect opportunity for that. Allowed those guys to get their feet wet and sort of maybe allowed this team to finally get on a roll that they can sustain. They've been on this win-loss jag for a while now. That's the question moving forward, obviously. Can they take the momentum out of this Cardinals game and keep it going pretty much the rest of the season? Because that's what it's going to take. I think they are in the playoffs right now if the season ended right now. But, the Panthers are competing with them for a spot. They play them on Monday night. And then the Bears come after the bye. They're competing for a spot. And then the season ends with the Seahawks. So there's some critical games left on the schedule. This team needs to. I know that the defense is never going to really rise to the occasion, but the offense needs to be as good as it was against the Cardinals consistently in order for this team to win.
Is your biggest? Well, let me ask you this: what are your specific biggest defensive worries? Because I look at the game yesterday, and you had Michael Wilson with 15 catches for $185. You had Trey McBride, who's a stud, 10 catches, 115. So that would point to a secondary issue as well. But is there a poison pill in there that you go, oh God, as the season goes on, they are really screwed?
Yeah, 185 for Michael Wilson was the highest total by a receiver this season. So,
Wow.
congratulations,
Wow.
Michael Wilson.
Right.
Yeah, to me, it's the defensive line. I mean, Jacoby Brissett dropped back 57 times, which is an incredibly high number. And in the second half, you knew for sure he was going to be throwing the ball because they were trailing by so much. The 49ers didn't sack him once. No sacks in that game, which is just astounding to me. They are very much on track to have their lowest sack output, since sacks started to be recorded as a stat. They've had several games where they've come away with zero sacks. So, it's no wonder that he was picking them apart. They weren't blitzing; they were keeping everything in front of them. So all of that accounts for the gaudy yards. But you would think in all of those dropbacks that they would have had more pressure than they did. So it starts there. Middle linebacker could be an issue moving forward because we're not quite sure what Tatum Bethune's ankle injury is. If it's a high ankle sprain, we probably won't see him until after the bye. So that means we won't see him until December, and in which case I think they're probably going to have to bring somebody in, maybe not to start, but to be a backup to Curtis Robinson, who, by the way, I thought played pretty well when he had to come in. So yeah, Robinson and D. Winters stood out to me as far as the defense, but that defensive line, it's in tatters right now, and there's really no recourse to improve it from here on out.
Matt, I was thinking about just the way the game started. Kickoff to the one, return to the other one, basically 98 yards by Sky Moore, and then handoff McCaffrey, touchdown. I mean, 15 seconds into the game, you're already leading, and now coaches maybe have scripts and game plans. It just, what a terrific tone to start the game when you're on the road and you've already established that early lead just a few seconds into the game.
Yeah, I mean, that might be how the 49ers do it. I mean, Kyle Shanahan's routine is to, if he wins the toss, he always defers because he loves that idea of scoring last in the first half and then first in the second half and quote unquote lapping the other team. But the dynamic of this team has changed. They need to get on top. And to your point, Jason, getting on top was, I thought, a big deal. Because I don't think that the 49ers can stop the run. When you get up 13-0, your opponent pretty much has to abandon it pretty quickly. The Cardinals didn't have James Conner. They had a platoon of very little known running backs. So maybe they weren't going to do much damage anyway. But, you got the Carolina Panthers coming in and Rico Dowdle. If you're a fantasy football player, you know that he's been very good this year. I think he was third in the NFL in rushing yards going into the season. I don't think it's going to be a mystery about how the Panthers attack the 49ers. They're going to try to run the ball. So, the best defense of that from the 49ers perspective is to score a lot of points and make sure that the Panthers can't hammer you to death with the running game, that they have to pass the ball and that it becomes a shootout. So that might be it's not the Shanahan script usually, but it might have to be the script this year.
Matt Barrows joining us. Okay, so based on what you just said, and I couldn't agree with you more about Carolina with Dowdle, and let's not forget they got Chuba Hubbard there too, maybe to spell him. But when we look at yesterday's game, 36 yards for Arizona, and 24 of those were from Bam Knight. The longest rush was 7 yards. Now, you made some points there. Is that Niner rush defense, or are you thinking more of they had a big lead and also Arizona stinks at rushing the ball?
Yeah, I think it's the latter.
Okay.
And they also did give up a 60-yard touchdown to Bam Knight that was called back.
True.
For a holding penalty that may or may not have been a holding penalty. But so, I mean, one play could have made a pretty big difference. I mean, that was early in the third quarter too. So they scored a touchdown there. I forget what they're behind. I think it's either a score or, like 10 points. So it's a bit different dynamic at that point. No, I wasn't choking. I was not choking. Don't get excited. Just had a little tickle in the throat.
I got you.
Yeah.
We're always on alert, though, Matt, but that's fine.
Matt Barrows joining us from The Athletic, of course, brought to you by Stockton Honda. So, yeah, Pearsall barely played, but he was back. We saw a great game from Kittle. What is there any update, Matt, on Aiyuk?
No, there's no update on Aiyuk other than John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan continue to say, and not with a lot of conviction, but they continue to say, yeah, I think we'll see him this season. The problem is that the season is rapidly disappearing. There's only 6 more games. You would think that once they open that practice window, they'll give him, the full 3 weeks to acclimate himself. I mean, he hasn't played since October 20. So I just don't know. Remember last year he had the holdout and then didn't practice at all in training camp, and it took him a while to kind of get up to speed and to get worked into the offense. And then when he finally did, he suffers the ACL injury. So it's hard to see him. If not playing, then it's hard to see him being, Brandon Aiyuk, the number one wide receiver, the guy who's finishing with 150 receiving yards this season. Maybe if they get into the playoffs and he's had, a decent run up, maybe that happens. I mean, and they would love that. I mean, Pearsall and Aiyuk are cut from the same cloth, and they've really never been able to get on the field together. I'm sure the 49ers, Brock Purdy, are looking forward to that. But, right now it's hard to see it happening anytime soon. And I don't know if it'll ever happen in full effect this season.
When you talk about Brock Purdy and you look at it yesterday, it was such a Brock Purdy-esque game. Like the Niners scored 41. Brock had 3 touchdowns, just 19 to 26, 200 yards. Oh, and 3 touchdowns, no picks. Very, very efficient across the board. It was good to have him back. Is there, how do I say this? Much like Christian McCaffrey, especially early on in the worry about the load on his ankles, on his Achilles, and some of those lower body issues, with this turf toe thing, which we have since learned is far worse than what it sounds like, is there a load management issue with Brock, or is he back and good to go until further notice? Or both?
In terms of snaps, I don't think there's any load management issues. You didn't see him running with the ball like you normally do. There was one scramble, and he looked good on the scramble. He's scrambling, towards the television camera, and then let go of a sort of an ill-advised pass that was almost picked off, in the red zone. But it did show that, his speed was there. He just didn't do it very often. And I do think that, that's a caution for him. That's how he got the injury originally, and that's how he exacerbated it on scrambles. And then he gets tackled at the end of the scramble, and the toe is pressed into the ground as he's being tackled, and that's what does it. And that actually happened on a sack by Josh Sweat. I mean, I was sort of thinking, oh, geez, that's the exact way that he can aggravate that toe, and it wasn't a problem on that play. But I did notice sort of a lack of that, and maybe that's, they're up by so much. Why put yourself at risk? If it was a tighter game, and they needed a gritty, first down, and he saw an opening, would he go for it? Maybe. But I did think that was something to note in this game, that he wasn't running, scrambling, looking for yards with his feet like he normally is.
Matt, it feels like for the scope of the season to where they want to get to and they want to be a playoff team, you referenced it earlier, they've been in that win-loss mode. They get the win. And you look at those 4 weeks that you brought up, I mean, between the Panthers, the Browns, the bye, and then the Titans, how important does this stretch as far as the NFC playoff picture appear to you to be for this 49er team?
Yeah, it's extremely important. I mean, they've got an extra day this week, and this is a team that hasn't had its bye yet. So that extra day for them is like gold. They are relishing the one extra day off they have this week. I mean, so that just kind of shows you how desperate they are for a little bit of time to repair. The flip side of that, of course, is that then they have a short week to get ready to go on the road to Cleveland, which, could be bad weather. Brock Purdy did not have a good game the last time he was in Cleveland. It was raining.
Yeah.
My joke is that, you never want to get your Brock Purdy wet. It's like a leather coat. It'll just ruin it. Or gremlin. So that's all kind of in the future. But, if they can, and the Browns are not a good team. So even on the short week, even in bad weather, the 49ers should win that. So if they can win these next two and get to that bye, that bye is like an oasis for them. That they are just, they're not looking past the bye. They're absolutely looking forward to it and using it as the springboard for basically the month of December to get into the playoffs.
It's funny you say that. I feel like I can't even remember the last time the Niners beat the Browns. I feel like every time we play the Browns, we get our butts beat. And then I went and looked. Okay, they beat the Browns 31-3 in San Francisco in 2019. But funny enough, they have lost 5 of 7 to the Browns. Oh. They lost 5 of their last 7 to the Browns. And just for funsies, the Browns are 13-8 all time against the 49ers. Jason, the first game was Browns 34, Niners 14, November 12th, 1950.
Oh, I remember that one.
We just had, by the way, the 75th anniversary of that game. It was great. There was a parade, the whole thing. So we'll see, Matt. But Brock's back, so that's what matters, right?
Can you name me the Browns starter that beat them the last time they were in Cleveland? This was 2 years ago.
As a matter of
good trivia question.
Anonymous
guy.
Oh, I thought you meant in 1950 because I was going to say it was probably like Tungsten Arm O'Doyle or something.
I'm going to go with.
Oh, I think I know. Why am I?
Jason's looking it up. So
no, I'm not looking it up. I'm not looking it up.
Yeah,
Dorian Thompson Robinson or Dorian.
Oh, Dorian. I know you're thinking.
Yeah,
okay.
UCLA.
And I want to guess. Is it either? It's too late for Derek Anderson. I think. Was it Jacoby?
No, just 2 years ago. No.
Yeah. No. Okay, I'll say Derek Anderson.
Oh no, it's way too. That was a long time ago.
Oh, it was.
Yeah.
Okay, then Jacoby Brissett. I don't even know if he played for the Browns.
No, you're both wrong. I had to look it up myself. Gosh.
Oh wait, hold on.
Give me a second.
I'm gonna bring it up here. Hold on.
2 years ago.
Player stats. Here we go.
Garoppolo was playing for us. This is
Philip Walker. PJ
Walker. Philip Walker of the Ohio.
PJ Walker delivered an L to the 49ers. And this was their Super Bowl season, too.
Wow, yeah.
So my point is that if PJ Walker can beat you, then I don't even know if it's going to be.
Everyone can.
Yeah, Gabriel or Sanders.
He had a concussion on Sunday.
Oh my goodness, you're right. I was looking at the 2019 year. My bad. No, Jordan Mason with an 8-yard run, a Jake Moody kick. Then you had Kareem Hunt in the second quarter with a 16-yard run. And look, Christian McCaffrey getting the Niners on the board 7-0. It was going to be a big. Gotta remember that game. It was all rainy and crappy and lame and cold.
Yeah, it was not a great Jake Moody game.
No, it wasn't. All right, Matt. Matt Barrows is your senior 49ers writer. I don't know if there's a junior one for The Athletic. He's the guy that runs the show. Nobody covers the team better than our friend Matthew Barrows. Thank you, brother. We'll talk to you next Monday.
All right. Talk to you next Monday.
All right.
Thank you.
Care. That's Virginia's Matt Barrows.
Yes. Good trivia.